our top 5 Big East venues, plus the passing of a Villanova legend. And we're going to also do a top 5 Big East cities on Big East Energy Weekly. Welcome into Big East Energy Weekly, the heartbeat of Big East basketball and beyond. Every week, we're bringing you the stories, the rivalries, the drama, and all of the energy that makes this conference the most unique conference in all of sports. With me, as always, is Casey Matthews. I'm Mark Zanetto. Big East Energy Weekly again. We really appreciate you guys, subscribing to the channel, liking all of our social media posts, just being a part of this community that we love. We've got some really cool stuff coming down the pike. As you know, there's a placeholder before basketball season. It's called football, and that's happening. So we started a new channel. Why not? Big Football Energy is live. There are no shows yet, but we have 2 coming up. UConn football show for all of the folks that bleed blue. And we are going to have a show that's going to air on both Big East Energy Network and the Big Football Energy channel, which is called Big Bet Energy. Get all your betting picks. I have former handicappers. That won't be my picks, I can tell you that. I'll probably be trailing some of these picks. I got some former handicappers, and I have a former boss who will remain nameless, who is the absolute GOAT in terms of making bets and just winning money at casinos. I've never seen anything like it. He's already given me 2 picks and he's going to give me some more later today. So we're going to record that later. It'll be out tomorrow. Okay. All of that. And Casey, welcome in. Listen, Big East venues are an interesting one because, we're going to focus for our UConn fans. Like, it'll just be Gamble. So, if XL Center is a big part, or now People's Bank Arena and all that, but we'll just focus on the ones that are either on campus or where the majority of the games are played, or the big games. Who are what's the first?
No MSG,
what's the?
I didn't put.
No MSG. Yeah. No. Like for St. John's, we can't use that.
Right.
What's the first venue that comes to mind when you think of the Big East? When we're not talking about the tournament, obviously, because that's Madison Square Garden.
Right. I mean, for me, it's interesting when you look at like the best venues and how you rank them. Like I've actually ranked them, all of them, and from worst to first. And when I really start to just look at the league, and I know this is going to be interesting, but I can't get Villanova Finneran out of my head. And I know it's like people are gonna be like, what? I'm just telling you, when Jay Wright was there and they had that thing rolling, that's such a hard place to play and win. The environment was unreal. When they redid it and kind of, they opened it back up, we were there that season, and I've just never forgot it. It's always stuck out to me as the hardest place to play when they're good and when they're rolling. And so that's the one I think of. And I know that's like people are like, what in the world? But it just is. I have some bias in this, obviously, and also just some personal memories from being in there and being on the sidelines. And it's hard to get those thoughts out of my head when you're getting worked by Jay Wright and that Nova team, and the crowd is on top of you and it's loud, and you're just like, all right, let's get these 40 minutes over with. But that's it for me. How about you?
Yeah, that one popped into my head, but with the amount of Big East hoops I watch, like, they don't play a ton of games at Finneran, and I know they're going to start doing a little bit more of that, and I think that's probably
crazy.
I know, but it's a money thing, man. Like, you can go play at what is it, the Verizon Center in Philly, and 12 miles off campus.
Wells Fargo,
whatever, same shit. This is a big corporate sponsor, right? Sponsor us, Wells Fargo. I'll go back to banking with you. But it's one of those things. Like, if we're talking about, it kind of reminds me of like, what's the best game of the year? Well, if it's a home at home, those are better than neutral site, in my opinion, right? Because you get to play on someone's campus in their backyard. And since this topic was like venues, I don't know, man. Like, and I know UConn fans are going to hate me for this, but when they're good, remember that was the caveat you made. There's not a more electric arena than the Dunk. Like with Providence, it's a scary place. if you're not wearing black and if you're not wearing the colors of our background, if you're not wearing black and white, and you're not rooting for the Friars, it's like, it's for other teams, it's like hell on earth. And I think that would be the description. You got fans all sauced up, throwing beer in the air. You got,
not just in the air, not just in the air, on the court. That's happened.
At players at opposing fans. It reminds me of, and this is another thing, I'm going to piss off another fan base because now I just gave Rhode Island and all of these probably Boston fans, that are excited about Red Sox right now. It reminds me of what Yankee Stadium used to be. You go to Yankee Stadium, and if you wore another person's jersey, you got assaulted essentially, or that just got ripped off of you. And it's gotten a little more docile now. We live in a more, society that tolerates people coming in from different jerseys and stuff like that. But the Dunk is wild, man. And that's my number one spot.
Speaking of the Yankees, have you ever sat out in the bleachers?
Oh God, yeah.
With the bleacher creatures, that's one of my favorite memories in life is being out there with the chance. But yeah, when somebody else has a different jersey on, you got to give it to them for even showing up and sitting there. It's almost like they didn't know that.
But there's always the guy who shows up. I remember, and I'll give you two quick anecdotes about Yankee Stadium bleachers. Sitting out there, they're playing the Athletics, and it was when Jermaine Dye was on the team. And some guy, it's all quiet. Jermaine Dye's in right field. Guy comes up and goes, "Hey, Jermaine, Dye." That's all he said. And every once in a while, he would just continue to say that. That's a Yankee fan. And then, but my other thing I would say is, don't be the guy that wears the random jersey, just of any team. Yeah. There's no game that's of consequence that you're watching, and you're wearing like a Cleveland Indians jersey from like 1977, and the Red Sox and Yankees are playing. Just wear nothing, just a neutral color, or pick a side. Don't be that, because when things weird and like it's like the sixth inning and the beer's starting to get shut off, they're gonna come at you. Oh, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like it's just stupid. I don't like that guy. I don't like random baseball or football jersey guy.
Yeah.
No, if you live in England and you're in that NFL Europe situation, you just want to throw on a football jersey, cool on you. But if you're in the States, just pick a team.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be an adult.
Yeah. Or just don't wear a jersey.
Yeah. Just wear a t-shirt. All right. So what's your top, which we both gave our number one.
Yeah.
What's your top five? To kind of, I know you ranked them all. Yeah. If you want to give me all of them, feel free.
Yeah. I mean, my bottom three is the Prudential Center for Seton Hall, Wintrust. Even though Wintrust is a beautiful arena, it's a great facility. There's just not any history there. There's not a lot of winning there yet. So it's just I never lost there, man. And it's just, it is what it is. Capital One Center in DC, I think it's a similar scenario where they just haven't been very good. And it's such a big arena. Same thing with Wells Fargo. It's just sort of like, it's so big that if it's not filled up, it just feels really empty, and it's not loud enough. So those are my bottoms. And then this is where it kind of gets odd. But for me, the next one is Carnesecca, and I get it, the history. It's cool. I'm glad that I've been there, all those things, but it's so small, and it's, it's hard to play there when they're good because the fans are right on top of you. But in terms of just ranking them as like the best venues, it has to be there. From there, I go to Fiserv, and again, another really nice arena, beautiful place. It's where the Bucks play. A good atmosphere. There's nothing negative to say about Fiserv. It's just, for me, that would be my next one. Then I'm going Hinkle. Cool
what
place.
What number are you on right now?
Let's see. my sixth. I guess I'm going
Okay.
all the way up. So
Gotcha.
six would be Hinkle. You know, I have a lot of bad memories at Hinkle, but cool, really cool place. Depending on like daytime, it's cool because the natural light's coming in. Like it's just a really cool venue. Then I'd go. I got to go CHI at number 5 here in Omaha.
Mhm.
The reason for that is just because it's so loud and it's sold out every night. 17,000 people. It's nuts. And you know, again, been there many a time. Then I'm going to go with Amica, or the Dunk is really what we should always call it. But I'm going to go with the Dunk there. It's a great venue. It's loud when they're good. It's a heck of a place.
It's loud when they're bad too. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not a place that is comfortable to play in unless you're a
No,
really good team.
You're right. Dude, I was on the staff that lost to them when they like won or like clinched a share of the title. Yep. And I mean, that place was nuts. John Fanta was in the building that night. That was beers. I mean, the game got postponed or not delayed in the second half because they're throwing beers on the court. They had to stop the game. It was insane. I mean, like our AD was there. Fans were getting on him. It was nuts. So yeah, really, really cool place. Then I'm gonna go Gamble. Insane. And I was never there when, I mean, they were good, but I was never there when they were what they are now. So I'd imagine it's even crazier now. So much history there. You know, my dad's from Stanford, actually raised me a UConn fan for my first probably 10, 12 years. Then I, you know, wisened up and switched allegiances. But so I have a lot of just like memories, just seeing games in that arena, my dad talking about it. You see the banners. It's just a really cool spot. Then I'm going to go Cintas. And that place is, yeah, if you've never been there, I don't even know how to really describe it other than it's just impossible. It's almost impossible to win there. Like they're on top of you. It's loud. But you know what, man? A lot of this stuff, and I love, and I can't wait to see the comments because I'm sure we'll get some comments of how bad my rankings are. A lot of this stuff you can't see on TV, but I think a group of people that gets kind of underappreciated are the people that create the atmosphere at the arena, and like whether it's the pregame stuff with the fire, whether it's the scoreboards and the videos they play, the music they play, all those things play a factor. And I think the Cintas Center, I think they do it as good as anybody. It's just incredible. And then I went Finneran, and really the thing to me with Finneran is it's only like 6,500, 7,000 people.
I think, yeah.
But they're on top of you. And again, when they were good, it was an hour before tip, and they didn't stop until you were in the tunnel walking back to your locker room. It just, I mean, crazy. So, yeah, that's where I'd rank it at.
Yeah, I disqualify Finneran not because it's not a tough place to play, but because they almost never play there. So that's the reason why it's not in my top 5. I respect the pick. So my 5 is I went Chai Health Center, Omaha. I think mostly because it's a house of horrors for UConn fans.
That it is.
Except for last year. Thanks to Liam McNeely. And then I go Hinkle just based off of nostalgia, and it's just a, you know, after listening and producing behind the scenes Rose's interview with Brad Stevens, you know, when they're good, that place is like, it's like the leprechauns come out, and you know, there's magic in that arena. You know, and just Hoosiers, the whole deal, right? Indiana basketball. You know, like we can make fun of IU all we want as UConn fans, but Hoosiers, man, it's just a different world out there. And then I go Cintas at 3. I'm with you. Xavier is just, listen, Cincinnati basketball as a whole, like the crosstown shootout, Skyline Chili, all those people all boozed up and farting all over you, dude. That place is got to be incredible because, you know, and again, I haven't been in that arena, but the reason why I rank it so high is because it's just so it's impossible to play there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
So hard
that's
to
why
win.
sometimes you wonder about why a school struggles, because the resources are there and whatever. So a lot of it has to do a lot of times with like the structure and, you know, the mechanisms around getting players and all that. Right.
Yeah.
And then for me, obviously, I already said the dunk was my number one, and mostly just because it's just an absolute, you know, it's like a horror movie in that place. And then Gample's no picnic either. And so I have them at 2. You know, I experienced Gamble last year for the first time in about 20 years. And it was like a, you know, out of body experience. To your point, you know, they have, you know, the flames and the, you know, the fire that starts the game, and, you know, the crowd going crazy, and, you know, each player has their own little walkout and all that stuff. You know, Caravan's giving you the, you know, the little Superman stuff. It's so over the top that it's insane, and that crowd just absolutely gets into a frenzy. I don't think I've ever heard it so loud in an arena than last year. They went on and they ended up losing this game, unfortunately, but the game against St. John's, they started that game shooting 75% from the floor. Jalen Stewart made 3 threes in like a second. Liam hit a 3. Solo hit 2 threes. I mean, they had 23 points at the under 5 timeout. It was 23-7 against St. John's and just blitzed them. And I'm in the media row, like trying not to jump up and down and join the fray, trying to be professional, which I ended up not being later in the game as we got worse, as the game got worse. And, you know, Patino decided, hey, man, they don't really have too many guys that can handle the rock. So let's press them full court all game. They had 25 turnovers. So, you know, again, but even in that, like when they're getting beat in that arena, you can hear the groans, like, what's happening? Like, you just like feel the energy kind of flip. And then when they go on a run, it's like a volcano. So, and I know a lot of places
it's a perfect place for Hurley too.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know what I mean? It plays into his strengths, and that place, yeah, you said it. I mean, it's hard to play there. We played there. We won. I think we won in overtime there when Book Night was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, I don't have the best memory, but I believe that was COVID, and it wasn't full because of COVID. Families were there, and it was still loud. I mean, it was kind of nuts.
Something about the way it's built, because it's only 11,000 seats. They're doing renovations to it now. I can't wait to get up there this year and kind of see what they've done. They're doing renovations on People's Bank, which, for my money, as far as it being loud, I know we're not doing alternative venues, but it's kind of hard to not with UConn, because Hartford is a big part of where they play. I mean, the Civic Center was a huge part of like the Jim Calhoun era, you know, the dream season, you know, with all those guys and, you know, making the run to the Elite Eight. So, like, to me, it's hard, and Hartford can be loud too, but there's nothing like Gamble. It's on campus. You get the kids in there, and it's not that you don't get students in Hartford. It's just tougher for them to get to it. Yeah, they have $2 beer night sometimes at Gamble, and that gets a little rowdy.
I just would never play there. I just don't know, like, why you would play in Hartford. I know it's money and know all those things, but
it's just not about money. I'm telling you, it's definitely money, because you get corporate sponsors, like you get to name it People's Bank Arena. I'm sure they got like $10 million for that or whatever it is. But you also, like, Connecticut's a small state, dude. Like, and there's different pockets of Connecticut, and to be in Stores, which is like bordering Massachusetts, and then Hartford, which is kind of almost like directly in the center. You got an international airport. A lot of businesses are down there. A lot of UConn alum. I believe there's a satellite campus down there too. So, like, there's a satellite campus in Stanford too. So, like, the state as a whole, personally, what they should do is, if they really want to have a barnstorming type team, they should. I mean, they used to play. I mean, they played in Mohegan Sun. That's where the Sun used to play. Now that they're going to be sold, probably not. You know, Mohegan Sun's got an arena. There used to be an arena in New Haven where the New Haven Nighthawks used to play in the NHL, like the AHL. I used to go to those games as a kid. So, like, there's other places. I mean, you could play in Fairfield County and you get a shit ton of UConn fans down there. So it's to me, it's like the same way that the Big East is like no other conference in college sports. UConn's arena deal is like no other place. I mean,
Yeah.
they could play in Bridgeport. There's a Bridgeport arena that has a really nice arena that's been around for a few years.
Yeah. Of the other teams that have multiple spots, I would definitely say it's the best. I think Wells Fargo is awful, and I would. I mean, I know again that's just a money thing, but I'd never play there if I was Nova. But anyway, yeah, that's cool. I think the list is good. I mean, it's, somewhat similar, but I think for anybody watching, listening that doesn't understand how good some of these arenas are, besides like your
Just go.
teams,
Yeah, if
it's
you're close,
incredible. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm gonna have to start doing it as a fan and really seeing some of these places and get to go on the concourse and all those things that I've not done. So,
sure,
but yeah, cool spots
for sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna do a remembrance of Villanova great George Raveling, who passed away just a couple days ago at the ripe old age of 88. We'll be right back. Oh, we're back on Big East Energy Weekly. Casey Matthews, Mark Snetto here. So I'm going to open with this. George Raveling is probably most known for his work with civil rights and being with Martin Luther King with his I Had a Dream speech and being literally on that stage in 1963 in front of 250,000 people. I'm gonna tell you this. It's not like a well-kept secret. Anybody can look this up, but it's easily the best anecdote or tidbit about George Raveling's life. So when Martin Luther King gave his speech, King handed Raveling the original typewritten "I Had a Dream" speech, the pages, and he was on the podium with Martin Luther King at that time. And, having volunteered to provide some security because he's, a bigger basketball player and all that, he kept the original copy of the pages and was offered multiple times millions of dollars for that speech. And instead of cashing in, I think it was upwards of $3 million, he declined every offer. And in 2021, just 4 years ago, he gave it to Villanova University. And what it's intended to be used for is kind of a long-term loan agreement, almost like in a trust, and they display it in different areas in the country. Right now, it's at the National Museum of African American History and Culture in DC. To me, that it gives me chills talking about stuff like that, because that to me, like as in the society that we have today, like where everything is, money driven and people are trying to follow versus lead, like that to me is George Raveling is the absolute epitome of being a leader, not a follower.
Yeah, that's cool. I did not know about that last part. I knew about him getting handed the speech and all that, and I've always thought that was really, really cool. I did not know that he gave it to the university, but no, I mean, what a impact he made on the world. But obviously for us, college basketball, and he was a head coach at Washington State. He was a head coach at Iowa. Is it USC maybe? So like, I mean, the guy made a difference in the college basketball landscape. What he did with Nike, and I mean, he had his impact is huge and will forever be felt. So yeah, what an unbelievable life. I think it's like not to get into so much of the nostalgia, but I think, one day we're all gonna leave, and you just got to think like, hopefully he made as big of an impact as he did on the world, and it's gonna be hard to do. But certainly remember him, and rest in peace.
Absolutely. I think we're both not the best stewards to kind of, put forward his, undying legacy. Obviously everyone passes, but I just wish his family the best. And I hope everyone, is, obviously you're grieving when someone passes, but he lived a full life, almost 90 years old. I think he was 88 when he passed away on the 1st. And I just think, again, his impact is going to be well beyond basketball. And, I appreciate him and all of his contributions. And I wish we could, have a whole show on George Raveling, and maybe we will. Maybe we'll end up asking, Chuck Everson to come on, who does Big East Rewind, and I know Matt is going to probably do a little something on George on his show on Holy Nova. But anytime you lose an icon like this, it sucks for not only Villanova but the Big East as a whole, and not to sound grandiose, but the world. Like, it's just not a, you don't want to lose people like that. Those are tough. Those are tough pills to swallow, no matter how old or how young they are. So it seems trivial and very silly to kind of move into another top 5 list, but I am a very silly person, and Casey certainly is too. And honestly, I think most people, with the exceptions of certain cultures, look at the passing of someone as a celebration of life. And so instead of, doing all these in memoriam and trying to make people cry on a Tuesday after Wednesday afternoon, I thought let's do the best Big East cities as a whole. Not we did venues today, but I'm talking about cities where these schools are located on campus. And I want to give the criteria before we start. We're talking where the campus is located, not the adjacent area. So 2 very distinct places. Villanova University is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's not in Philadelphia like everyone thinks. If you don't know that, it's about 12, 15 miles away from like anything of consequence in Philadelphia. Okay. St. John's University is in New York City, but it's in Jamaica, Queens. If you live in New York City, raise your hand right now if you're watching this and say, hey, I want to spend some quality time in Jamaica, Queens. And the answer to that question is probably no. Unless you have an appointment or unless you're going to school there, Jamaica, Queens isn't exactly what I would call a pleasure cruise. I lived 10 minutes away in Forest Oaks. That's where I live now, in Forest Hills, New York. And it's, that was considered the nice part of Queens. So again, when we get into this list, just keep that in mind. I'll go to you first. Who is number 5 on? We're not going to do all 11. We're just going to do top 5. Because guess what? UConn's not in my top 5. Storrs, Connecticut is not my top 5. Sorry, guys. I love you. If
UConn was in your number 5, Mark, we're going to lose so many subscribers.
Well, no, they would have to check me for like a fever or something because I'd be sick. Who's number 5 on your list?
My number 5 is Indianapolis. With Butler, I think it's a cool city. Again, when you take out Philadelphia and New York City, all those things, certainly changes the list.
You can still put Jamaica in there because you're still only 10 minutes away from or a 15-minute subway ride into New York City. So like I get it, but I'm talking about just the campus.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's Indy's my number 5. Again, if you've not been in Indy, it's a cool spot. Final Four, be there this year. Spend a lot of time there. Very, very cool place. How about you, number 5?
Again, people are gonna want to hurt me, but I got Providence College in Providence, Rhode Island. It's as much as the fan bases like to go at each other. Providence was on my list of schools that I looked at when I ended up going to Sacred Heart. Very similar in terms of like their tennis programs and where I was going and all that stuff because you're trying to get the best education. You're trying to go into the best spot, and it's a beautiful campus. It's close to Newport, like there's other things other factors. And honestly, Rhode Island's a beautiful, tiny little state.
Yeah.
That's number 5. Who you got at 4?
I'm going Omaha. Omaha's a great place. We got to get you out here at some point, Mark. But obviously I live here, so I'm partial, but if you get here on campus and you kind of go around the town and the city, it's really a great place. The Midwest is so underrated. I know everybody thinks it's just a bunch of cornfields. I will never forget UConn and their social media team putting out those graphics. Like I loved it. So, but it's not a bunch of cornfields. There is a lot of corn in Nebraska, but not in Omaha. So Omaha's a great place. The downtown is nice. It's fairly, for the most part, it's really safe. Great food scene. Get yourself to Omaha. If you can get here during the College World Series too, such a special time in the city. So Omaha's coming in number 4 for me.
Okay. Yeah, also like that's part of it too. That's a great call out. Providence has some of the best Italian food you'll ever have. So like that's another part of it too. If in terms of like if you're a college kid and like where are you going to eat, like especially if you're from a certain area like where I was from, where you had a lot of really good different types of eclectic food. And if Omaha's like that, cool. They're not on my list. Sorry. I have at number 4, I have Cincinnati, and I only am going off of. I'll be honest with you. I've never been to Omaha. I've never been to where Marquette is in Wisconsin. I've been to every place on my list, and that's the reason why it's there. Cincinnati's there because there's other things to do. Plus, you got pro baseball. You have pro teams in general. So there's kind of a pulse outside of just college basketball. And if you're just a college, or a fan, that's a great thing. Plus, I'm going to go with my buddy who used to be on the Cincinnati staff. I know we're talking about Xavier in this, and he swears by it. I mean, they live in Northern Kentucky, which is right over the bridge, but they absolutely love the city of Cincinnati, the zoo, like all that stuff. So they swear by the food and Grater's ice cream and all that stuff. I'm not touching Skyline Chili, I can tell you that. But outside of that, and I know that Skyline probably hates me because I always talk shit, but like, and I guarantee I'd like
I love
it.
Skyline Chili.
I think I would. Fantastic. I'm gonna, and I say this with all due respect. That's just dietary stuff for me. That's not like it probably tastes great. Like I can't.
Oh, it does.
I cannot justify Skyline Chili for my diet and like keeping myself healthy. Like I'm not talking about like weight. Like I'm not talking about vanity. I'm just talking about health. That's not going to be on my list.
Once in a while, Mark. You got to live once in a while. No,
yeah, but that's the point. Like if I'm going to live, chili's not going to be one of them. It's going to be a steak. It's going to be something else. You know what I mean? It's going to be like
steak, and you better put Omaha on your list. You're not going to find a better steak anywhere in the country than Omaha. And if you're a big zoo guy, we get the best zoo in the country too.
That's not true. We have
totally
here in Greensboro, we have the best zoo in the world. So I don't want to hear
no chance, bro. I lived in Greensboro. The zoo in Omaha is
in Asheboro?
Real. I promise you.
All right.
If you
listen, I'm going to get out there at some point, and
I'm taking you to the zoo.
Oh my god!
All I can think of in the lion's den, but it's. I'm telling you right now, the zoo in Greensboro, whatever, doesn't hold a candle.
Let me tell you something. All we sound like is the guy in Rocky. Take it to the zoo. Take it to the zoo. So just that's all I could think of when I'm going to take you to the zoo. So yeah, okay. My number 3, and then you're going to get it. Indianapolis. I love Indianapolis. I've been there multiple times. Sometimes for work. Sometimes I was visiting friends. That's a great steak place. Okay. St. Elmo's. The cocktail shrimp there. Steve Forbes recommended it to me a long time ago. Went there on his recommendation, and I wish Steve Forbes would have paid for it because that was a hefty bill. But I don't have head coach money. But that place, one of the best meals I've ever had.
If you're a steakhouse and you're more well known for your shrimp cocktail than your steak, you're not a steakhouse. Okay.
Nah, man. It's
St. Elmo's. Great food. I don't not hating on St. Elmo's.
Don't you knock that? How dare you?
But I'm telling you, man, Omaha's got better steakhouses. Probably
Let me tell you something, just so you know, and I'm going to clip this and send it to the St. Elmo's people.
Please do.
If we all go to the Final Four this year as a team here at Big East Energy Network, because maybe one of our teams or two of our teams get to the Final Four, fingers crossed. I'm going to tell them they can't serve you. You have to sit outside, and the rest of us are going to be inside having shrimp cocktail and steaks. And I'm going to send you McDonald's. We're going to DoorDash.
I'll go to the steak and shake around the corner.
Nope. I'm going to DoorDash you something. What's your number 3?
So actually, we have ours flipped. I went Providence. I love Providence. I think it's a cool city. I loved going there. We would stay at that Renaissance right by the arena, and it's just an awesome place to go walk around. Great food scene. Yeah, loved it. So you kind of already hit on it, but I think the city itself combined with the arena, just the experience, being in the in the Northeast, loved it. So Providence is number 3 for me.
Okay. Who's your 2? Number 2.
Chicago.
Okay.
Love Chicago. Cool city. Obviously, again, great food scene. where Wintrust is and where we would stay was right there, is connected to the arena. So nice places to walk around. If you get there in like a vacation or whatever, and you go out by the lake, and I mean, it's just a really cool place. I know there's people talk about, it's not safe. I never had any issues in Chicago. It's like anywhere else in the world, man. If you want to look for trouble, you'll find it. But there's so many good areas in Chicago to go and see and visit. So definitely number 2 on my list. Where are you at?
Yeah, number 2 on my list is DC, with where Georgetown plays, and I think DC is underrated as a town, not only just because of the, people have their own, political thoughts and whatever. We're not going to get into that. It's more just about, and I'm gonna throw a curveball, and people are gonna be like, "What is he talking about?" So a lot of times people go to Europe to look at classic architecture. You don't have to go to Europe. Go to Washington, D.C. You got neoclassical, you got federal, you got Victorian, you got Gothic, you have modernism, postmodernism, and then on top of that, you have all of these incredible monuments that are, such a incredible thing for our country that kind of shows, our history. The White House, the Capitol building, the Washington Monument, Jefferson, Lincoln, like the whole deal. Like, so, I mean, I remember going there as a kid to like for field trips, but specifically, like, I think people typically sleep on DC in terms of, like I mentioned, like, things like architecture, things like, food, things of, culture in general. I think similar to Chicago, gets a really bad name in terms of, the safeness of the city. And I think part of that too sometimes is, a lot of times people just get caught up in stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and, I agree with you. If you don't look for trouble, it usually doesn't find you. But sometimes it finds you, and it's wrong place, wrong time. And but that's like any place in the world. Really, what I mean? There's safer places than others. And I flipped it with you. I have Chicago as one. I have Chicago at one because of all the same reasons, and where their campus is. This would be like a no-brainer for me. If I was a college basketball player, and Chris Holtman decided to hit me up and was like, "Hey man, we're gonna hit you, scholarship," and I'm solely based off of city. I'm going to DePaul, and I'm going to a bunch of Wrigley Field games. I'm going to see the Cubs play. It's like 10 minutes away. I'm going to go to Wrigleyville. And you're right on Lake Michigan. Yeah, is it going to suck in the winter? Sure, but that's what heaters are for, and that's what big thermal jackets are for. But yeah, man, like summer in Chicago, I don't think I'd leave. I'd stay on campus and work out. That summer in Chicago would be dope.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. I mean, even the surrounding areas in Chicago, there's some really
talk about cool steakhouses. Areas. Woo, boy,
Mark, I'm telling you, I gotta get you to Omaha.
If you think Omaha, Nebraska has a better steakhouse than Chicago, we need to get your head checked. Okay, brother?
I'd put my life on it. Dude, look at Nebraska's the capital of beef.
Doesn't mean you could cook a steak.
Oh, Mark. I'm taking you. You come here. I'm taking you where I took Fanta, the Drover. Unbelievable. It's my favorite steakhouse. There's more. There's probably 2 more, but
what's the cut? What's the cut of steak you're getting?
The whiskey ribeye. It's all you need to worry about. I can't even get into this right now, but it's the best. So we'll just leave it there. Get yourself to Omaha. It's 10 minutes from where I live. It's the best. So butcher shops everywhere. I'm telling you, it's Chicago doesn't hold a candle in that regard. My number one, you keep stealing it, is DC. So I just love it there. The town of Georgetown, outside of just like the broader DC area, is really cool. Awesome, a lot of cool like places to walk around, do some shopping if you're a shopper. So many cool restaurants and just places to pop in and see. I always enjoy my time there. I did not know you were like a architecture, like historian, kind of guy. I'm just learning I'm just peeling back the layers of you, Mark. But I too love history, and I love going into the museums and seeing the monuments. And it's just a really, I think too, is like being an American and American citizen, like there's just something about it too, of being the capital and what all goes on there. And regardless of your politics, it doesn't matter. It's just knowing all the things that have happened there, and just makes it a very just whenever I'm there, it just feels like I'm in an important place. And there's some, you know what I mean? So love it there. That'd be my number one spot.
Okay.
We need Georgetown to get back. We need
man,
Paul to get rolling, and yeah, it's because they're just great places to go.
Also, I would love to, I'm not afraid to fly or anything. I have no issues with that, but taking a train into DC is from down here would be pretty fun, just to like go and see their practice or games or whatever, just because like you said, I've stayed in Georgetown before, like the area of Georgetown. Plus, I mean, is there a more iconic movie than The Exorcist? You had Patrick Ewing in it. I mean, it's in Georgetown, right? That's where the priest is from. Yeah, man, it's one of my favorites, and I hate that I have to like hate Georgetown as a fan, but I certainly don't as just an outsider, like as a person that didn't go to school there. Always like that was always like a joke, like that fans are delusional sometimes about how good they are, but there's nothing delusional about the brand of Georgetown. Like in terms of like just from an iconic standpoint, you can turn on a show of any time frame from like the 70s, a movie like The Exorcist, or to something stupid that my wife watches right now. That's and I hate to downgrade that, but something that I have absolutely no interest in. What was the stupid show she's watching right now? Something about The Summer I Turned Pretty, right? And one of the kids in that show is sure enough going to Georgetown, right? The show Stick on Apple TV. The mother was a DePaul. It's a great show. Was a DePaul University grad. So like there are some really cool, like iconic. We did this a long time ago. Tommy Boy set in Marquette. He's wearing the Marquette rugby shirt. There are some really cool our friends and neighbors with John Hamm. UConn basketball is prominently shown in that because it's a Connecticut town, and there's an NBA player in there, and his court, because he went to UConn, has a UConn logo. So they literally rented someone's house in Westchester County, essentially. That is a big time UConn grad. And if you don't know me, like just come get me, because I would love to work with you, because obviously you have a lot of money. And we would love some sponsorships, right? This unknown UConn grad from our friends and neighbors that has a UConn court. So like there's so many brands that go with the Big East, and that's why it's just such a unique conference. It's just it's the best conference in the world, bar none, football or not. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
All right, brother. I'm gonna now you made me hungry, and I haven't eaten yet today. I'm on one of my longer fasts, so all I'm thinking about as my mouth is watering is your stupid steakhouse in Omaha that I have to go check out.
The Drover.
The Drover. That's a stupid name, but that's okay. I'm sure it's great.
We gotta jump off here, Mark. I'm gonna you're gonna get me fired up. It's my spot. That is my spot. Actually, in all honesty, when I left coaching, Coach Mack and his wife gave me a gift card as like one of my like going away gifts, and they knew the Drover was my spot.
They knew where it was.
That was my gift. So the Drover, baby, get there.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not trying to out Coach Mack. I mean, I'm sure it's an expensive spot. Did it cover the entire meal? Did the gift card cover the entire meal?
Oh yeah, couple meals.
Okay.
Coach Mack does it right.
Hey, generous. I like it. That's a good man right there. You got
to move him up your list.
He already is right now. And I was literally about to say we are going to do a show, and I'm going to hit you with this randomly. And actually, I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to tell you off the air. We're going to surprise the folks. It'll be a fun segment. Next time we do a show, you have to tune in, because I'm gonna try to make Casey break as he's very down the middle as an analyst, and I want to see some laughter, and I want to see him get pissed at me and also get excited over the things I'm about to say.
I'm a never too high, never too low kind of guy.
No, I'm gonna get him I'm gonna get him hot. That's
All right.
the next iteration of this show. We'll see you
Let's
next
do
time.
it.
See you next week.